Okay, good. We are finally ready to start. Um, Thank you, Shalomo. I see we have some young people joining us today. Beruchim Havayim to the young people. That's very nice. Pesach is a holiday for young people. And, uh, and I'm going to read the pasuk. ויקרא משה לכל זקני ישראל ויאמר עליהם משכו וקחו לכם צאן למשפחותיכם ושחטו הפסח. Okay, so Moshe Rabbeinu is getting the Jewish people ready for Makat Bechorot. He's getting them ready for Makat Bechorot because, as you know, during Makat Bechorot, there will be a mashchit, a destructive force. The Torah says that it was Hashem himself that entered Egypt. And this force will kill every single Bechor in Mitzrayim. And it will not distinguish necessarily between Jew and non-Jew. Rather, what's going to happen is Moshe Rabbeinu is going to give specific instructions, and whoever follows these instructions will be saved. So Moshe Rabbeinu, he calls the zekenim of the Jewish people, he calls the elders of Israel. But the truth is, Ziknei Israel doesn't mean elders older in age. It actually means the political leaders. So he calls the political leaders, and hold on one second. Yes, he calls the political leaders of Israel, and he wants to give them the instructions because they're gonna transmit the instructions forward to Am Yisrael, right? So every leader, the tribes had their leaders, each tribe had its own leaders, and then these leaders will speak to the members of the tribes and will instruct them. So he says, here's the instructions. Mishechu, I want you to pull. I'll explain what that means in a moment. Mishechu. Ukhu lachem son. And I want you to acquire for yourselves a sheep. Son in Hebrew can mean either a sheep or a goat. Lemishpechotechem. And you need to acquire one sheep or goat for each family. And this goat will become Korban Pesach. This son will become Korban Pesach. Veshachatu Pesach. You could have to make shechita on this animal. I hope it's okay that we have kids in the class. I'll try not to be too graphic. Okay, I'll take account of that. It's going to be PG, not rated G. It's going to be rated PG. Okay. Did somebody just drop off? Is that what happened now? Okay. Continuing. I'm reading now the Ankelos or Onkelos. Ukra Moshe lechol sabei Yisrael va'amar lehon itneridu vesavu lechon min bene ana lezar ayatechon vechusu pischa. Okay. So he says mishechu means, according to Ankelos, when I said pull, right? Mishechu means pull. Himashechu, it means pull yourselves. What does it mean, pull yourselves? It means when a person is on a mission, when a person is instructed to do something, he is told, get up and go, right? So let's say the wife needs milk for the kids. Go get the milk now. Get up and go. So how do you say get up and go in Hebrew? Mishechu, right? So mishechu literally means pull yourselves. You understand the point of mishechu? Pull yourselves, meaning get up and do this. It's important, right? That's the way Ankelos explains it. Let me see if there's anything that catches my attention quickly. Give me a moment. Right. Seadagon, similarly to Onkelos, says hitpashtu, spread out, meaning spread out, because you're going to have to spread out in Egypt to buy enough sheep, because figure you had like 2 million Jews. How many families do you have in those 2 million Jews? That's a lot of families. So it means spread out, go whatever you need to do. You must do this. Okay? So Onkelos emphasizes more the idea of get up and go. Rasag emphasizes the fact, go spread out throughout Egypt, find this sheep. You have no choice. Okay? And here's what you're going to do. Continuing in the reading. ולקחתם אגודת אזוב ופלתם בדם אשר בסף והגעתם אל המשקוף ואל שתי המזוזות מן הדם אשר בסף ואתם לא תסעו איש מפתח ביתו עד בוקר. ולקחתם. You must take a branch of, I don't know how to say it in English. In Hebrew, it's za'atar. Are you familiar with the za'atar? That our parents used to take bread, chibzu za'atar, and they would put it in this herb that was ground up into a flour-like substance. I think it's hyssop, if I'm not mistaken. Does anybody know what za'atar is in English for sure? If you know, you may unmute yourself and enlighten us. Well, I'm pretty sure it's what I said. So it's a type, and by the way, it grows all over Israel. It's like a little, it's an herbal plant that grows all over Eretz Yisrael, and it's like a branch. So he says, take a branch of za'atar, right? And let me see if I can find a picture of this, of Pesach Mitzrayim. Give me a moment. No, this is the Pesach in Bet HaMikdash. This is not Pesach Mitzrayim. Okay. So take this branch. Now what's going to happen is when you do shechita on the son, you're going to gather the liquid portion. I'm intentionally, because I see there's kids there, so I'm intentionally censoring the B word, right? You're going to capture the liquid portion in a bowl, right? And you're going to take this branch and dip it in that liquid, right? Right? Utvaltem badam asher basaf. What does it mean? Utvaltem badam asher basaf. You will put the branch of hyssop into the bowl with that liquid. Okay? And what are you going to do with that? V'higatem el mashkof el shatem mezuzot. So the mashkof, when you have a door, right? You have a doorway. The top part, the bottom part is called the lintel. I'm sorry, the threshold. The top part, I think, is called the lintel, and the two sides are the doorpost. Let me just make sure that I have this right. Give me a moment. Yeah, hold on one second. The question is on my English, not on the reality.
Yeah, you're right, Rabbi. Lintel is the top, right?
Yes, that's the yeah.
Yes, yeah. Lintel is the top.
Is the top? Got it. Yes, yeah. I see it here. Lintel is the top. Good. So
the other word might be. Right, the other word might be hyssop or hyssop. I'm not sure.
Hyssop.
I'm not sure either way.
I see. Okay.
Either way.
Okay. So so good. All right. So at least we have the right words, if not the right pronunciation. So you're going to take this this branch. You're going to dip it in that bowl, the bowl that contains that liquid. And what are you going to do? You're going to touch the lintel, which is the top. You have the frame in which the door is placed. The top part, the lintel, you're going to color it with this red substance, and then the two doorposts. This is the outside part of the door, right? And the instruction is, "Ve'atem lo teseu ish mepetach beto ad boker." No one is allowed to leave their house until the morning, meaning for the entire night, you must stay in door. That's the instruction. Okay, I'm looking now at Ankelos.
Rabbi, I'm sorry, I have a question.
Please.
Who is going to see the blood?
Well,
only Hashem?
Right. So
literally,
we're going to see. So in the next,
Hashem or for other,
right,
Egyptian or anything like that.
Right. So in the next pasuk, we're going to be dealing exactly with that question. Who is going to see the blood? Okay? And I
The
just
reason why I'm asking, because it's nighttime, and how are you gonna see it?
Right, right. So correct. So who is going to see it? We'll see in a moment. The next pasuk is going to say. That's a good question. Okay. All right. So let me read now Ankelos, with your permission. Okay. V'tisebun asarat ezova. You should take a branch of hyssop or hyssop, however you pronounce it. Actually, give me a moment. I will now.
He's such a perfectionist.
No, it's just I want to hear.
Hyssop.
Hyssop. You heard that? It's hyssop. It's a small, bushy, aromatic plant of the mint family, the bitter minty leaves of which are used in cooking and herbal medicine. Okay, so hyssop. Thank you, Mikey. You were right. It's hyssop. Okay, so getting back to Ankelos, okay? V'titpelun bidma divmana. You would take the hyssop branch and put it in the liquid which is in the bowl. V'tadon leshakefa ve'litren sipaya min dema divmana ve'atun la tepekun anash tera bete'at safra. Nobody is allowed to leave their house until the morning. So that was a kind of a scary night. At some level, it was a scary night because there was a lot of bad stuff happening outside. And what's the only thing that can save you from the bad stuff happening outside? To stay with the family inside. Okay. Let me see. Vela ikhraj.
Because like the peak is in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, around Pesach, actually. Yes.
Sure.
Okay, let's continue. ועבר אדוני לנגוף את מצרים וראה את הדם על המשקוף ועל שתי המזוזות ופסח אדוני על הפתח ולא ייתן המשחית לבוא אל בתיכם לנגוף. And what's going to happen on this night, the night of the 15th of Nisan, meaning Wednesday night? Wednesday night, of course, that's the night of the Seder. Hashem is going to pass through Egypt for the purpose of attacking them. Negifa, lingof is like when you attack an enemy, right? And when Hashem passes through Egypt, he will see the blood. Elliot, this answers your question. He will see the blood on the lintel, and he will see the blood on the two doorposts. Ufasach Adonai ala petach velo yiten hamashchit lavo el batechem lingof. And Hashem is going to. Okay, what does the word fasach mean? So as long as we're studying together, and I'm the teacher, I will explain to you what the word fasach means. Let me look first. What is the word fasach? What does everybody think the word fasach means? How about we start with that? What is a holiday called in English?
To skip.
To skip, exactly. And that's why it's called Passover. Because on this night, Hashem passed over. But if you look at the Pasuk, it says that Hashem will not let the mashchit enter your houses. So there is a mashchit. Hashem is... So here's what's interesting. Hashem is entering Egypt, but together with Hashem, there's a mashchit, there's a destroyer, some destructive, evil force. Hashem will see the blood, and he will protect you from that destructive, evil force. So what does the word fasach mean? Let me look at Ankelos, and I will see what he says, because there is some confusion as to the meaning of this word. Okay? I'm reading Ankelos now. Ankelos says Hashem will reveal himself in Egypt for the purpose of destroying, of smiting the Egyptians. And he will observe that there is blood on the lintel, the alteren sopaya, and on the two doorposts. And listen to the word that Ankelos uses for Pesach, ufasach. V'yechus Adonai al tar'ah. V'yechus. What does it mean, v'yechus? Literally means Hashem will have mercy on. What does that mean, he will have mercy on? What does that mean? Anybody venture to guess? He will have compassion on them, right? So what does it mean? It doesn't mean what we say. Passover doesn't mean that Hashem will skip over. Hashem doesn't skip over anything because he doesn't exist in space. Passover means to guard, to protect. So when a mommy has a baby that she loves that baby, and she's cradling the baby in her arms. She loves it, right? So Pesach means Hashem will, so to speak, love us, and he will protect us. It's love, protect at the same time, like when a mommy cradles her baby. And that makes sense because it's not Hashem that's doing the killing. It's the mashchit. Excuse me? I'm sorry, somebody said something? Oh, okay, I thought somebody said something. So basically, there is this destructive force, and Hashem is going to protect us from the destructive force. By the way, what is Pesach called in the Torah other than Pesach? What is another name for the holiday?
Chag HaMatzot.
Yes, excellent. What is another name for the holiday which will appear soon in this parasha?
Chag HaCherut.
Chag HaCherut. Okay, that doesn't appear in the parasha, but yes, you're correct. That is a name. There is another name, Lel. I'll open it up. I'm going to show you now. You see this? Lel Shimurim. You see what I marked on the screen? Do you see it? What does Shimurim mean? A night of protection. So it's not what we were taught in school, that Passover, that Hashem jumped over. Hashem didn't jump over. Hashem doesn't jump, chas v'shalom. He doesn't exist in space. Furthermore, Hashem wasn't personally, he wasn't killing. There was a mashchit that was doing the killing, right? It says, "V'lo yiten mashchit lavo el batechem." Let me show you the pasuk that we were reading just now. So Hashem is going to protect us, thereby preventing the destroyer from entering your house. You see that? So Pesach means the night of protection, but it is a protection that comes from love. It's not like a guard protecting the palace. That's like, it was a millet. This is a type of lachus. It's a mommy cradling her baby. That's the meaning of Pesach. Hashem loves the Jewish people, and he's going to be protecting us from the destructive force. Okay? Let's continue. ושמרתם את הדבר הזה לחוק לך מול בניך עד עולם. And you should guard this matter. It should be a hawk. It should be a law for you and for your children eternally. I don't understand the pasuk. Guard what matter? Ushmartem et hadavar hazeh. Guard it. What does that mean? Anyone venture to guess? Okay, let me read to you what Ankelo said. It says ushmartem. Ushmartem means to guard. So for example, there's mitzvot in the Torah. Hashem says guard this mitzvah, meaning perform this mitzvah. So what does that mean? It means as follows. This Korban Pesach that we did in Egypt, you should do it every single year. Because there are always these destructive forces, barminan, and we want Hashem to love us and to protect us. So he says, if you want my love and you want my protection, I want you to do this Korban Pesach. Every single year, do the Korban Pesach. And that's the law, by the way. Today we can't do it because we don't have the Bet HaMikdash, or practically speaking, we can't do it, right, as a practical matter. But that's the law. So when there was a Bet HaMikdash, we always used to bring the Korban Pesach. Okay? So Ushmartem et hadavar hazeh. Let me read Ankelos or Onkelos. Vetiterun yat pitrama haden likyam lach velibnach ad alma. I see somebody raise their hand. Galaxy S7. Who has a Galaxy S7? Ah, yes, sir. I will unmute you. Let me unmute you first. Hold on. Give it a moment. For some reason, I'm having trouble unmuting you. Let me see if I can do it this way. You are now unmuted. You can talk.
How are you, Rabbi?
Who's that?
Richard Tomback.
Hey, Richard. How you doing?
Okay. I'm finally able to figure out how to get into the classes.
Great. Good to see you. Good to see you. What did you want? What can I do for you?
Oh, we're talking about Leil Shemurim.
Yes.
So the idea of the Shemurim, you mentioned the idea of the Shmor. You know, the kesher between Leil Shemurim and the Shamartem. There's a link between the Mikra doesn't waste any time to use the sound of different shorashim to impress upon us certain ideas.
Yes, of course, absolutely. It says Ushmartem et hamasot. Absolutely.
Right.
So on the one hand, Hashem is protecting us. On the other hand, Hashem cherishes us. I would even say Hashem cherishes us, and we cherish His mitzvot. You see the connection? So
Right,
He gives
yes.
us the mitzvah of Masah, and we cherish it, right? And that's why, by the way, there's a special law that before Pesach, you're not supposed to eat too much. The day before Pesach, try not to have any big meals. Don't eat too much, especially after 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like have some fruits, vegetables. Again, not chas v'shalom to the extent where so especially older people, it's not good. But I'm saying to the extent that you can do this, try to get to the point of masah where you're looking forward to eating, so that when you eat the masah, you cherish it, right? That's part of cherishing. Yes.
Man was nitzapeh le'ezeh davar.
Yes, exactly.
Looking forward to something.
Yes. So the Chachamim say something unusual. They say it's haram to eat masah the day before Pesach, meaning Wednesday this year you're not allowed to eat masah, right? Because we eat masah at night, so you can't eat masah during the day because you have to enjoy it. So they say if a person has masah during the day, he violates this law. The Chachamim say in the Gemara, כל האוכל מסע בערב פסח קבע על ארוסתו בבית חמיו. That's what the Gemara says. That if you eat masah erev Pesach, it says, you're engaged to a woman, but you're not married, and before you formally married the woman, you're only engaged, you were with the woman improperly. So I think Harav Ovadia Yosef said this. Yeah, I think he says, why kibar arusato bevet hamim? He says, because in order to be with a woman, in order to be fully married, you have to do sheva berachot, right? So you do sheva berachot, and then after sheva berachot, they're formally married. So he said that here also you have the sheva berachot. You have the beracha of the wine when you say kiddush. You have the beracha of the zeman when you say kiddush. You have the beracha of shechianu when you say kiddush. We're talking about obligatory berachot. You have the beracha of the karpas, borei feri ha'adama. That's already 4 berachot. You have the beracha of netilat yadayim now for the masa. You have the beracha. I'm up to number 6. Hamosi lecha min ha'aretz. And what's the 7th beracha? Al achilat masa. And then after al achilat masa, the maror is later. Al achilat masa, you said 7 berachot, and then you eat the masa. So he says, the sheva berachot you have to say before you're with a woman, the 7 berachot you have to say before you eat the masa. So he connects the two things. I think it's a lovely connection. It's a beautiful...
I wonder if the achilat maror is the 8th bracha, if there isn't a connection between that and the brit.
Don't know.
8 brachot.
Don't know. And then yodea. So that's Ushmartem. So now you know what Pesach means. Pesach means the night of protection. Hashem protects us. He cherishes us. Let's continue now in the Pasuk. Okay, let's continue. So I'm now marking the place where we're reading. Everybody sees the screen, right? Okay. Yes, am I sharing it? Oh no, it's not shared. I'm sorry. Mechila. Okay. Thank you, Elliot. There we go. Okay. All right. ושמרתם את הדבר הזה לחוק לך ולבניך עד עולם. I read that pasuk, I explained it. Okay? Because there's many mitzvot which are not eternal. This mitzvah is one of the 613 mitzvot. Every one of the 613 mitzvot are eternal. So this is one of them. Korban Pesach. והיה כי תבואו אל הארץ אשר ייתן אדוני לכם כאשר דבר ושמרתם את העבודה הזאת. And then when you enter the land of Israel, the land which God will give to you, as he promised you, you are going to perform this work before God. The Avodah in Hebrew, in the Hebrew of the Chumash, it refers to Avodat HaKodesh. What is Avodat HaKodesh? The Avodah that you do in the Bet HaMikdash. And Rambam has a book called Sefer Avodah, and he explains the work that you do in the Bet HaMikdash. So you're going to perform this in the land of Israel. Let me look at Ankeos. Vihe arete alun le'ar'a deiten Adonai lechon kema demallel vetiterun yat pulchana haden. Okay, let me see in Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon. Okay. Right. Just like I explained it. Okay. Let's continue. והיה כי יאמרו עליכם ביניכם מה העבודה הזאת לכם. Who says, okay, והיה, and then there will come the time, and it will be a beautiful time. V'haya means a beautiful time, right? So there will come this beautiful moment in your lives when your sons, your children will come to you and they will say, Daddy, what is this Korban Pesach about? Why are we bringing Korban Pesach, right? So they used to bring the Korban Pesach to the Bet HaMikdash, and your son is going to be curious about it, right? Ma avodah azot lachem, right? Let me get the Haggadah. Give me a moment, please. I have in my house some really, really gorgeous Haggadot, old, ancient Haggadot. This particular one, Livon, oh wow, Rabbi Eliyahu ben Amozeg. Wow, fantastic. Wow. Okay, and it's in Ladino. They have it in Spanish. Wow, fantastic. And beautiful. It's a beautiful Haggadah. Let me show you some of the illustrations. Let me unshare the screen. I'm going to unshare the screen. You're going to see what I'm doing in a moment. There is a method to this madness, but it's really beautiful, beautiful. I have some beautiful Haggadot that I got from my father. This is one of them. Yeah. So I'm going now to the 4 sons. I'm going to the 4 sons, and you remember each one of the sons asks a different question, right? Okay, so now let me go. Here we go. So we have the 4 sons. Hacham hu omer, ma ha'edot ve'hachokim v'mishpatim. Okay. Rasham hu omer, ma avodah zot lachem. Wow. This is weird. Who says this pasuk? Ma avodah zot lachem. I'm showing you in the Haggadah so you realize I'm not making this up. Rasha מה הוא אומר? מה העבודה הזאת לכם? And what does the pasuk say here? והיה כי יאמרו עליכם ביניכם, מה העבודה הזאת לכם? That's strange. The Chacham, he asks a different question. He says, מה העדות והחוקים והמשפטים אשר ציווה אדוני אלוהינו אתכם? He says, I want to know, what are the laws, what are the rules that Hashem taught us to follow? I want to know what these rules are. And the answer is, you teach them Hilchot Pesach, you teach them all the laws of Pesach. But here, we have, מה העבודה הזאת לכם? מה העבודה הזאת לכם? for the רשעים. Let me say ברכה. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה מדברו.
Amen.
You understand the question, yes? It's a good question, I think. So, first of all, let me see what, before I answer that question, or I try to answer the question, let me see what Ankelos says. Vihe are yemerun lechon benechon. Ma pulchana haven lechon. Now, why is it, what in this pasuk tells us that we're dealing here with Rasha? That's number one. That's the first question. What part of this is Rasha?
Lachem.
Lachem. What does lachem mean? He's saying to you, this is your thing. It's not mine. It's yours. Okay.
Poresh miyatzibur.
So he's poresh min hasibur. Right. He says this is not something that's for me. So let me first of all look at Rasak. See if he has anything here. Just give me more. No, nothing here. But Rasak has an entire perush on Shemot. Ba'avonotai rabim. I don't have it. I should have taken it when I came here, and I didn't when I came to America. Okay. Okay. All right. So now, let me explain to you what I understand. It's easy to speak with a Chacham. A Chacham is a person who is interested in doing the mitzvot. He already has committed himself to fulfilling the mitzvot. That's easy. The Torah is dealing with a more difficult situation, and it says vehaya. This is actually a beautiful moment. And what's beautiful about this moment? Because no child, or very rarely, is a child perfect, right? Perfect child is in Christianity, where he was born under the, in the nativity scene, and there's a big machloket. Not making this up, but just so you understand. I'm saying this just so you understand what I'm getting to. Did he have diapers? Didn't he have diapers? That's a big theological question that they debate amongst themselves. By us, the child is not perfect. And this is a beautiful moment. You have this kid, he's not perfect. We call him Rasha because he's still not on the correct road, right? And many children, when they're young, they're still not on the correct road. What is the job of a parent? To steer them on the correct road. And the fact that the child is asking the parent, that means there's a dialogue going on. That's a beautiful thing. The parent now can influence a child and can make him into a Sadiq, right? So when we say, oh, this child is Rasha, it's not like we're in Bnei Brak and we're starting to throw stones on cars that are coming, or we're calling the soldiers that are coming to save us, we call them Nazis. No, that's not what it means in the Haggadah when we call somebody Rasha. It means this child has not yet found the correct path, but the parent's job is to steer him in the correct path. And that's a beautiful concept, and that's a beautiful moment that the parent has now this opportunity to take a child and to steer him in the ways of Hashem, in the ways of God, to fulfill the mitzvot written in the Torah. So he's going to ask this question. It's going to pique his curiosity. He's curious. What is this? And the answer is, Va'amartem zebach pesachu l'Adonai asher pasach al bote bnei Yisrael b'Mitzrayim בנורפו את מצרים, ואת בתינו הסיל, ויקוד העם, וישתחוו. And you should say, you should answer your son, this is a Korban Pesach. We bring it to God. And it comes to remind us that God protected, He had compassion upon the houses of the Jewish people. And this happened on the very night that Hashem sent a destroyer into Egypt. He destroyed Egypt, but He protected, He saved our houses. This is the end of the message that Moshe Rabbeinu is giving the Zekanim. Moshe Rabbeinu was, right? Remember, this whole thing started with Moshe Rabbeinu telling the Zekanim what to do. So that's it. He finishes his message. And at this point, Vayikod Ha'am, the elders of Israel, the political leaders of Israel, as I explained to you, these are the political leaders of elders of Israel. They bow down before Moses as an act, as a sign of respect, and that's it. They're now going to go and speak to their respective kahals, to their respective people, and they're going to explain to them what Moses just told them. Okay, let me look at Onkelos. ותאמרון תבח חייסו קודם אדוני תחס על בתי בני ישראל במצרים קדמי חיית מצרים וירבתן השזב וכרע עמה וסרידו. Let me look. Right. Debach Hayis. It means this is a korban to remind us of the compassion. Again, it's not Pesach, not Passover, not to jump. Pesach means have compassion, right? That's really important. That's the way Onkelos explains the pasuk, right? One second. All right. Let me look at Rasag now. Same thing. Zevach Himla. Zevach Himla. I wish my son Joey was here because he would read the Arabic. I don't read Arabic. He does. But nevertheless, Baruch Hashem, that, if it was to skip me, at least it continued after me. Pesach b'muvan Hamal v'Has. Exactly. Okay, let's continue. וילכו ויעשו בני ישראל כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה ואהרון כן עשו. And they went, the elders spoke to the nation, and the nation did exactly as they were instructed. They went to Egypt, all over Egypt, they spread out throughout Egypt. Every family acquired a sheep or a goat, a young sheep or a young goat. It was the 14th in the daytime. During the 14th in the daytime, they made shechita on the animal. They made shechita. They gathered, as I said, I'm not going to say because there's kids in the thing. They gathered the liquid and they took the hyssop, or the hyssop, I'm sorry. They dipped it in that liquid, painted the lintel and the doorpost, and they're all at home. And while they're at home, being protected outside, it's horrifying. So let's read what happened. We have about another 17 minutes. Good. So we could get to read this. Vayhi bahasi al-layla v'adonai hikachol bechor be'eres Mitzrayim מבכור פרעה היושב על כסאו עד בכל השבי אשר בבית הבור בכל בהמה. And it was at the precise moment of midnight, astronomical midnight. It doesn't, not necessarily what the clock says, 12 o'clock. What, calculate between, to divide the night, the actual night in half, and that was the moment that Hashem had or caused every firstborn in Egypt, every single one, It didn't matter whether this was aristocracy, whether it was the prince, whether it was the princes, the sons of Paro, the ones sitting on the thrones. It didn't even matter if it was a Bechor that was in prison, right? There's all types of theories. Oh, it happened because of the food. I mean, the food they give prisoners is not the food that they give the. I assume that the guy in the palace is eating better food than the prisoner in jail, right? I mean, I think we can kind of understand that. Asher bevet habor. This guy is in a pit in jail. V'chol b'chol behema. And finally, even the firstborn of the animals, all of them were killed. Every single one. Paro had, I think, as I recall, 13 firstborns, because 13 wives, 13 firstborns. So every single one was killed. Okay, so give me a moment here. Let me look at the. Okay. Right. I want to look at first. I'm going to read what Onkelos says. Vahava befalgut leleya vadonai ketal kol bukhra be'arad Misraim mibukhra defaro da'atid lemitav al kurse. Interesting. A very nice diuk from Onkelos. It says vadonai kachol bechol be'eretz Misraim bechol paro hayoshev al kiso. What does it mean bechol paro hayoshev al kiso? Who knows what that means? The bechol paro doesn't sit on the throne. Who sits on the throne? Paro sits on the throne. So what does it mean with Berchol Paro Hayoshev al Kiso? So the Onkelos explains it. The Atid lemitav al kurse malchuteh. That in the future he is destined to sit on the throne. He's not sitting on the throne. That only Paro sits on the throne. Ad bechol Hashem ad buchra deshibya dibevet asire bechol buchra dib'ira. Let me look at Rasag. Okay, all right, continuing. Vayakom Paro laila hu v'chol abadav v'chol Misraim v'tehi se'aka gedola b'Misraim ki en bait asher en sham met. And Paro, he gets up at night. He gets up, all of his advisors get up, all of Egypt gets up, and there is screaming, piercing sounds fill up all of Egypt. And the reason for this is there wasn't a house that didn't have somebody who died. Every single house, somebody died. Let me explain what that means. Every single house, somebody died. Because the obvious question is, well, hold on. Was there a Bechor in every house? Weren't there people who had daughters, right, as the firstborn? So, who died then? That's not a Bechor, that's a Bechorah. So let me explain. First of all, Vekam Paro beleleya hu v'chol abdoi v'chol Misrae v'havat sevach tarabeta במצרים ערלת ביתן תמן דלהבה במיתה. Okay. So Onkelos explains it according to the Peshat. Every single house had somebody dead there. Ibn Ezra has a slightly different explanation. He says, Ki en bait al harov yedabber. It means, as a general matter, every single house had a dead person, but there could have been exceptions, namely if there was no firstborn living in that particular house. That's Ibn Ezra. Rashi brings a Midrash Chachamim. He brings a Midrash that says, Yesham Bechor met. If there was a Bechor in the particular house, then that Bechor would die. And Sham Bechor, but if there was no Bechor in a house, Gadol Shebabayit Karui Bechor, then the eldest member of the family, he would die. So when it says, so Rashi, based on the Midrash Chachamim, takes the pasuk literally. What does it mean? Ki en bait asher en sham met. Every single house had a dead person. Oh, but not every house has a bechor. Okay, so if there's not a bechor in a house, in that case, the oldest member of that house would die. Let me look at Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon, see if he has an opinion on that matter, at least in this particular perush. Kol v'jamiya. Just 1 second. No, okay. Here, no. As I said, there's a perush of Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon and Shemot. I just don't have it. It's a long perush. It would be amazing to see what he writes here, but okay. Continuing. ויקרא למשה ולאהרון לילה ויאמר קומו שאו מתוך עמי גם אתם גם בני ישראל ולכו עבדו את אדוני כדברכם. And Paro breaks. He calls Moshe, he calls Aaron while it's still night. He does not want to wait till the morning. And he says, get up and leave my people. You can go. You can take the entire nation with you. Go worship God just like you said you want to do. No conditions. Unconditional surrender. Complete surrender on the part of Paro. וקרא למשה ולאהרון בלילה ואמר קומו פוקו מגועמי. פוקו מגועמי. Leave from within my nation. Right? אף אתון אף בני ישראל והזילו פלחו קודם אדוני Kema dahaveton amirin. Right. As you said, because you remember when Moses first comes to Paro, the request from Paro is, he says, the Jewish people want to worship God, right? We say, Shalach et ami ve'yahogu li bamidbar. Let the Jewish people leave because they want to make a celebration unto God in the midbar. Right? Right? So that was the original request. So he says, that was your request? That was your request? Good. Go. Worship God. Just like you said you want to. And what about the animals? Because you remember previously, he said, you cannot take the animals. Now he says, Gam sonechem, gam bekarchem kehu, kaasher dibartem, valechu, uberachtem, gam oti. Gam sonechem, take the sheep, take the goats, take the cows, take everything. Just like you requested, just go. And do me a favor, on the way out, can you throw me a blessing? Can you give me a beracha? Because boy, I could sure use it. This is Paro talking. Uberachtem gamoti. Give me a beracha. Yes. Give me a beracha. Okay?
Isn't that audacity like?
He says, I need a beracha. Listen, I would say my theory is that Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron were pleasant people. And when you're dealing with pleasant people, you're not embarrassed. It's, do me a favor, please give me a beracha. Right? It just shows what beautiful people Moshe and Aaron were. Because if they weren't beautiful people, how can Paro ask them for a beracha? Right? He knew that they would do it for.
Was Paro a Bechor also? Do we know if he was a Bechor?
Yeah, he was a Bechor.
No, I don't know. Yes, no, yes, no. Yes.
Her answer is as good as mine. Okay. So it says, Af anechon, af torechon devaru, kema demalleletun, ve'izilu vesalo, af alai. Right. It says, Uberachtem gamoti, Ankelos says, pray for me. Give me a prayer, please. Right? That's why Ankelos explains that. And, right. Right. All right, let's continue. ותחזק מצרים על העם למהר לשלחם מן הארץ כי אמרו כולנו מתים. And there was an impulse in Egypt, get these people out quickly. If the Jewish people are not out quickly, we are all going to die. There was terror. The terror just overtook Egypt. Hold on 1 second. What? Oh yeah, next time. Okay, fine. No, it's another 2 minutes. Right. Okay. So I'm reading. Right. Utkifu Misrael al Amma. Utkifu means it was with strength, but Tehizak means get out already. Le'ocha'a le'shalahu tehon min al'ah. So obviously there was tremendous pressure on Paro to give them the instructions to leave. Are amaru kulanu maitin. So now we see Paro, he's going to be thrown out. I mean, get the Jewish people out of Egypt, or they're going to throw him out, right? Right. Okay, and here's what happened. And now we're getting to the Masa. So we have 5 minutes to discuss where Masa comes from. Vayisa ha'am et beseko terem yahmas mish'arotam serurot besimlotam al shichmam. And okay, so the story goes as follows. They just wanted them out of Egypt already. They were baking bread, but there was no time to bake the bread because, as we said, normally to bake bread you need to have the dough rise, and then when the dough rises, you put it in the oven. And here it says something unusual. I'm going to teach you the peshat. The peshat is not like you studied in school. It's a bit subtle. It says that the nation they carried the basek, they carried the dough before it became hames, right? Mish'arotam serurot besimlotam al shifam. What does that mean? Mish'arotam. Okay, so I'm reading to you what Ibn Ezra said. What does the word mish'arotam mean? Actually, let me first look at Ankelos. Untal ama yat leshehon. They took the dough with them. Ad lahama, before it became hames, because as I told you, according to Rambam, hiluch meal is 18 minutes. It takes 24 minutes. It takes 24 minutes for it to rise. Rashi says 18 minutes. So they didn't have time to let the dough rise. Motar esvatehon serir bilbushehon al kitfehon. And they were carrying the dough on their shoulders, right? It was wrapped up. The dough was wrapped up, right? And they were walking with the dough. Okay, so I know all of you are like saying, wow, like what are you talking about? I totally get it. I'm going to explain it in a moment. Just give me another minute to see what Rabbeinu Sadagon says. The Rabbeinu Sadagon says, "Vayumish arotehem." They were carrying the utensils, the dough roller, to knead the dough as well, right? So they were carrying the dough, and they were carrying the utensils like a dough roller to knead the dough. Okay. I learned this from my father because it's a difficult pasuk to explain. Well, if they're carrying,
I remember it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Because if you're carrying the dough,
right?
Well, that doesn't make sense. So the dough rises and it became bread. So why do we eat matzah? We should be eating bread. You really remember?
The guy in the back.
You remember that?
The guy in the back was rolling it on their back.
Oh, that's nice, beautiful.
In fact, that's why I remember it.
How do you remember that?
Am I right?
I don't even. You know what?
Oh.
That's an amazing explanation. So you're saying
I think that's what your father.
Right. So they have the dough. Everybody has their utensil, and they're
they had the dough on their back, and the person in back of them was rolling it on their back.
Fantastic. That's not even the explanation I remember from my father, but that's the one you remember is even better than the one I remember. You know what, Beli Neder, tomorrow when I speak to my father, I'm going to tell him that explanation. He's going to love it. I wonder if he remembers it.
Okay.
Hazak Baruch Ali. Really, no, seriously. I like your explanation more than the one that I remember. So, bottom line now, okay, but now you can ask another question. So, if that's the case, then isn't the dough rising? And it's not matzah, it's bread. So, I'll explain to you. The halacha is as long as you're working on the dough, it doesn't rise.
Right.
Right? So you're working, as you said, Elliot, they're one guy's like, working on it so it doesn't rise, right?
Right.
And eventually, an hour later, whatever it was, they got outside the border of Mitzrayim. They were able to stop. They were able to bake the matzah, the thin dough, on a fire, and that was their meal. It was matzah. Matzah, it wasn't bread. Okay? All right, so that's a really good one, by the way. That's a great one. Wow. That is great. Okay. And now you understand why the Pasuk says, according to that explanation, Elliot, now you know why it says, Mish'arotam serurot b'simlotam. Why do we need to know that they took the kneading, the dough roller with them? Because otherwise, what's happening to the dough? So you explained it. They have the dough roller or whatever they use to knead the dough. They were doing that on each one on the back of his friend, and now we know why they needed the mish'arotam, which is the dough roller. Fantastic. Okay, let's continue. 10 o'clock. Wow, that was fast. Okay. Any questions? I will unmute all of you. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody said that they enjoyed it.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
What are they?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I didn't hear you. I missed you. Ask again.
You gotta be quiet. What do they use za'atar?
Right. Interesting. Also for para aduma, by the way, they use the hyssop. They also for para aduma, they use the hyssop as well when they put it in the water of the para aduma. It's also same thing, ezov, right? So the ezov is also used. It's used in various contexts. There must be a Kabbalistic reason. What else?
Yeah.
There's a reason. No, there is a reason, of course. I mean, and I'm not. It's a great question. It's just it's deep. What else?
So Paro was the firstborn or not?
I don't know. I don't even know. It's a good question. I don't know. I wasn't being facetious. Who's that? Who's asking?
Papa the firstborn.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Any other questions? Gentlemen,
I know too.
it was very enjoyable.